Hi, my name is Robert Shusterman, and I'm running for Mayor of Toronto in the upcoming 2026 mayoral elections coming up in October.
Hey, Robert, my name is Phil the Cruz. I'm cruising with Phil. You're my first guest. Oh, I'm getting old sitting down here. So, how you doing, buddy?
Good.
Yeah.
Phil, how are you?
Good. It's your second time running, right?
I ran 3 years ago, yes.
We met at the pride raising of the high school.
At the
choir.
school, yeah. It was a nice hot day in June, that's right,
It's much
yes.
better now, eh?
It's not as hot, yeah.
So your second time running, eh?
Yes.
How was your first time running?
It was good. It was a great experience. I met a lot of people, and a lot of people voted for me,
Yeah.
and I'm looking to get more votes this time around.
So when did you decide to run again the second time around?
Well, I'm a realtor, so I do a lot of work with the community. I've done a lot of volunteer work. Do you want to know specifically what I've done? Yeah. So I did volunteer work at the Toronto Humane Society and also the Distress Center of Greater Toronto. I'm also volunteering on my condominium board at my condominium building. I'm one of the directors there. I like people. I like to make some changes I think that need to be made. We need to pay more attention to mentally ill people.
Yeah.
I have a brother who's not well, who's mentally ill, who I think needs a lot more attention paid to him by the government, and I'm a little disappointed in the reaction of the government, so I decided to become a
Yeah,
politician.
you said that's why you want to run because of that, because of
Yeah.
lack of funding and all?
That's a big reason, yeah.
That's great. So how's the campaign going? Here's your signs here. I like the new
Here's
picture.
my new signs.
Nice good picture.
I just got them.
With the
There's-
bunny. What's with the bunny?
The rabbit. I'm a realtor, and I love my rabbit. I put him on my card that says "Sell your house quick like a bunny."
Like a bunny.
Yeah. The signs I like. They came out really good.
Yeah, I like this. Yeah.
I'm going to install them in October
Yeah.
when the signs go up in October, and I'm scouting the area now. And I stay in shape. I run long distance a lot.
How can I ask how old you are?
I'm 64 years old.
Good shape.
And I run long distance 7 days a week. I run long distance every day
That's amazing.
since the last election in 2023, and even before that. I've run 2,033 days in a row. All my runs are outdoors. So as I'm running, I'm meeting people in my
People in the
neighborhood, and I'm networking with them, and then I'm telling them I'm running for mayor, and they're going, and they're trying to help me out now. I said, listen, I'll help you with the door knocking. Run your campaign. I had someone else today I just bumped into at the end of my street, and he said you can put your sign on his I can put my sign on his property.
Oh, nice.
And I'm networking a lot, and everybody in my neighborhood seems to be excited about me running for mayor. So hey, this is working out pretty good.
I just want to mention that you can't see it on the camera, but he has his favorite pets over there. He's got his bunny. What's your bunny's name?
Bunny's name is Dexter. I've had him for 4 years. The 4-year anniversary was 2 days ago on July 23rd.
He's behind the camera, and then you got your budgie, which I had budgies myself.
My budgie's name is Yellow Mellow, and I've had her for 10 years.
10 years,
It'll
eh?
be 10 years this October. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's lived a good life.
Yeah, they're cute. They're nice and quiet. I told them to be quiet during the interview.
They're listening to
They're
you,
pretty
Phil.
good, yeah.
They're listening to you. They're
And she's
quiet,
so friendly, yeah. So you're like me. You love animals, right?
I've always loved animals, always had pets for the last 40, 50 years, and I bring them with me a lot. They've been on the plane before they've traveled across Canada. It's great.
Yeah, that's great. So tell me about your background.
Well, I'm a York University graduate.
You were born in Toronto?
Yes,
Yeah.
I was born in Toronto. I went to school across the street here, where I still live in the house where I was born in. This is the house I was born
Is
in.
your mom's and dad's house?
This is my parents' house.
Yeah.
I was born here. I'm still here 64 years later. I went to the school across the street. I went to the local high school. I went to York University. I graduated there. From there, I took the real estate course. And at the same time, I was coaching ice hockey, and one of the players I coached was deaf. He had no hearing.
Okay.
So I decided to learn sign language.
You took a sign language? Oh, wow.
So I studied to be a sign language
How long was the
interpreter.
course? Yeah.
Well, the course was 3 years. I took 2 years here in Brampton, and I took another year of training in Edmonton. I went out there for a year to become an interpreter. So I'm fluent in sign language, and I did a video last time when I ran for mayor. I sent it to the Deaf Association here in Toronto, and they have a club or some kind of building they work out of, and they posted my video and showing me doing sign language, and they were thrilled by the fact that a mayoral candidate can do sign because
Yeah,
they
I
can
think you're the
communicate.
first ever. I do myself a little sign.
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
practiced like you do.
Well,
I have some
yeah,
friends,
not bad.
Yeah,
That's
I
good
have
that you
some
do
friends,
it. Yeah.
I have friends that are my friend Carol. She's deaf as well, and I do with her when she goes really fast. I can't keep up.
No, it's hard. Yeah, so it's good to have someone who can communicate with the deaf constituents.
Was at the school over here? When I drove by, I saw this sign that's sign language course over here, just off of it was off Dufferin. No, sorry.
Bayview?
Baby, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Baby, yeah.
Yeah,
what I
that's
saw.
the Bob Rumble Center for the
Oh,
Deaf.
okay, okay.
They have a deaf program there. You can learn sign language if you're hearing and you want to learn sign language. You can do it there. They have a very good program there. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
So you're the
yeah.
first American to do that.
I might-
That's as far as I know. I've never
I might
heard
be
of
one of the
yeah.
first. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know that many do it, but it's important to know another language. That's
It
really
is,
important.
it is, I
Yeah,
know. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah.
So has it helped you in any ways in your job and your career rise?
Well, yeah, career-wise, it's helped me. I've worked with deaf people before as far as selling real estate. Like I've been a realtor for 37 years, so I've worked with some deaf people, and a lot of them don't have anybody they can work with because you need to know sign language. So it's good to have somebody that can communicate with them.
I was going to ask you. We had, they have they hire deaf people for doing the signing at the city.
Yeah.
For the city functions. You ever
Yeah.
thought of putting your name down for that?
I could, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
they're always looking for people, and then. Yeah.
Right, yeah. I work as a security guard too. One of the jobs I do is I work for the Blue Jays, and I met somebody last year who worked there as a ticket taker, and she was deaf. And she had nobody to talk to, so when I started working there, then we could communicate
So
with
back
each
and
other.
forth. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
That's great.
I'm still working for the security guard company.
So you get to work at all the. You just worked with FIFA, right? You
I
did
just,
the FIFA,
as a security guard, I just worked at the FIFA World Cup. So the last game I did between Portugal and Croatia, I was up in the stands and seating people, but I got to watch the game
to watch
too,
the game,
because
yeah.
you're right there. The game's right in front of you. A nice hot day, and I met a lot of people, and it was a great experience. I did 5 World Cup games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 5 of the 6 games.
Some
Yeah.
of the Canada games.
I did the Canada game, Canada versus Slovenia, was it? The first game.
Yeah,
the
first-
first
yeah,
game.
yeah.
Yeah, I did the first game Canada did at the Toronto Stadium. I was on the field briefly for a few minutes. There was a security guard there, and I was in charge of making sure that the right people got on the field, people with the right credentials.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great experience.
So how did that make you feel, being a mayor of Canada, representing a city, seeing Toronto and people cheering on Canada? How did that make you feel? Like
That was incredible. It was a great
Yeah.
experience. Yeah, Toronto's a great city. There's a lot of opportunities here, and everything seems to be happening here in Toronto.
yeah,
That's one of the reasons why I want to become mayor. It's so exciting to live here, and there's so much to do here.
yeah, we do. Yeah, we have
Yeah.
so many events going on every. You can't even keep up.
Yeah.
You know, even like,
Yeah.
have you been invited to any lectures, anything, forums yourself? And
Well, you're one of the first ones. I did last time around. I did a few events. I went to a few events 3 years ago. What else? Oh, someone did interview me for the newspaper, downtown newspaper called Toronto Today.
Yeah.
About a month ago, they interviewed me.
oh, is it in the paper now?
It's a website. It's called Toronto.ca. I have to look for it. I think it is in there. It will be in there shortly. They did an interview with me about a few weeks ago.
Okay, how'd that go?
It went good. I had to go downtown to Central Technical School.
Okay. Do you
On-
remember the
on Bathurst
person-
Street?
Do you remember who interviewed you, the lady or man?
Yes, her name was Emma. First name was Emma, and the last name I forgot her last name. It was
Okay.
Emma who interviewed me.
That's great.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's talk about your campaign. I was just see. You don't have a website, right?
I have a
you gonna
website.
you have a
I'm
website?
working on creating a
Okay.
better website. I'm
Okay.
working on. I have a real estate website. It's
Yeah,
got my
I got
name
that
there.
right
It's
on
got
my,
my properties there.
Yeah.
I'm a realtor with Royal LePage Terre Equity. Like I said, I've been there for 37 years. What else do you want to know?
Well, you talk about real estate. We're talking about housing, right? You got an interest in housing. How do you see the housing predicament? It's not getting any better.
It's not getting better, but real estate goes in a cycle, as you know, Phil. There's a downward part of it or an upward part of it.
We see all the empty condos right now. They're not selling.
Well, I'm a little surprised, but I think it'll turn around. You got to give it some time because you can only keep people away from buying for so long. Eventually, they're going to buy because the interest rates now aren't too bad. They maybe weren't as good as they were a few years ago, but they have come back down.
Okay.
All it takes is a few people to start buying, and then more people will jump on the bandwagon. And because there's a lot of great condos downtown you can buy with a great view of the water, and there's no reason why people shouldn't live there. Because it's a great life down there. You're near everything, right?
So as a mayor of Canada, you've seen a lot of the like myself, a lot of empty buildings.
Yeah.
Not just buildings,
Yeah.
schools.
Yeah.
So if you get elected, and people living on the street, just my thing. Just find a place to put them in during the wintertime. What's the take on that? What's your take on that?
We need to find more homes for the homeless.
Yeah.
We got to pay attention to the homeless and the mentally ill. People like that are vulnerable. We have to, as politicians, we have to put ourselves in their shoes. nobody likes to be wandering the streets out in the
No.
cold. It's not right. It's stressful, and we need to spend money to have housing for these people, even if it's only temporary.
Yeah.
At least get them off the street in the wintertime.
Especially if we have empty lots around everywhere, right?
We got empty buildings.
Yeah.
Let's make use of them. Let's put people who are vulnerable
That's
people.
what I was for. Like, it'd be easier to
Put
put
them
them
in
in there,
Yeah.
because by the time you get housing, it's gonna build, right?
Yeah,
And as
yeah.
you build housing, there's gonna be more people living on the streets. We just can't keep up.
We can't. It's no excuse. Canada and Toronto is a great city. We have a lot of resources here. We have so many resources that there's no excuse for not being able to deal with the homeless.
Yeah.
There really isn't. And it's just a matter of priorities, setting your priorities straight.
And you've seen yourself with a mental illness. Your brother had,
Yeah, I have a situation where my brother's very sick and he needs attention. He needs professional help. So I've had to kind of be the one to do it, but I'm not really qualified to do it. It really needs, because it's very stressful for me. I have to get my life, I have a life to live. So that's another thing. The government needs to spend money on the mentally ill.
The lack of funding for...
Yeah, because and we've had situations in Canada over the past couple of years where people have been off their meds and they've been gone around, and either, unfortunately, there's been some tragedies. People have been killed because of it. You can't have that. We need to spend money on getting people, mentally ill people, getting their medication, getting them back on their meds, and finding them a place to stay. And because I know they don't mean it, but they can cause a lot of problems. They don't mean it. Sure, they can't help it, but
well, when there's nothing out there to turn to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They have some abilities, but they still need their meds, and they need to be, a lot of attention should be paid to them, because we don't want to see tragedies.
Yeah.
We don't want to see that.
So if you got elected as mayor candidate, do you have any ideas what you'd like to increase for program and funding?
Well, I'd have to talk, if I get elected, I have to talk to the federal government and particularly the provincial government.
Yeah.
Provincial government is one that handles the mentally ill people for the most part. They give them disability payments, things like that. I need to see if we can increase their disability payments and also find housing for people that are really sick and cannot be in the mainstream society, because some of them can't, and they are, because they're not getting the help they need, but they can't be among us in mainstream because it won't work. They need to be in some kind of facility where a doctor is looking after them. I know we can't force them to stay in that facility. We've got to come up with some kind of better ideas. And the thing is this, there's nothing wrong with being picked up if you're mentally ill and going into a facility. But you cannot be released back into mainstream society right away.
Yeah.
You need to be gradually put back into mainstream society, gradually assimilated back into mainstream society through a social worker.
Yeah.
It's a gradual
and
thing.
each person is different, right? There's not,
Each person has a different level of their illness. Some are too sick and they need to stay longer. And others, they can go back maybe a little bit into mainstream society, but slowly, not throw them out there on their own. Just a very gradual process through a social worker. This is really important. This is not being done. You got to do this.
Well, we talked already about your brother before camera, and you said that I asked what kind of funding is your brother getting from the government. You said very little, right?
He's not getting a lot. He's over 65, so now he's getting pensions. But it's not enough money.
Yeah, because the ODSP ends at 65 now, and then it becomes a pension, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it becomes a pension, but it's not that much money. It's not a lot to live on, and his living quarters, eventually are going to be where he won't be able to live in a nice place. He can live in some basement apartment somewhere.
Is your brother's older than you? Your brother?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got just one brother?
One brother. Yes.
Yeah.
So
you're a single man, right?
I'm a single guy. Yeah. I was born here. My parents were born here, and I've lived, like I said, lived in this house my whole life. I briefly lived in Edmonton for a few months. I've traveled across the country. I'm a very experienced person, been around the block. I know a lot of people through real estate. I'm physically fit. I try to stay in shape. I was trained to be a police officer. Still have some interest in that. And like I said, I run long distance every day. And what else do you want to know?
Well, a couple calls. I look at your little card over there. I didn't bring it, but still, I'll throw some questions at you. Well, we had the program called Toonies for Tummies, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think? It's not fully funded by the government. It's not its own donations and all.
Right.
How do you feel about increasing that? We have increased it a bit, but we still need more.
So Toonies for Tummies?
Yeah. It's basically it's donations. the grocery stores you go every so many certain times of the year they do it.
That's a great program.
Yeah,
That's a
but
great
it should
program.
be fully. I think it should be fully funded.
It should be fully funded. That's a great program because when you go to the grocery, you're talking about grocery stores.
Yeah.
Your food is expensive, right?
Yeah.
So that's a great program. We got to help. We got to make the food prices. Got to bring them down because food is very expensive, and it's expensive to live in Toronto.
Well, let's say now it used to be 1 every 5 kids, and now it's parents 1 every 3 kids are not having a full breakfast going to school.
That's not good. Having a breakfast is important.
Yeah.
It's important to start the day off well with a good
'cause
breakfast.
When you lack of nutrition, you're affecting your brain and your body. And this is our future generation.
You won't. Your study habits won't be as
Yeah.
good as if you're malnutrition. If
Exactly.
you're if you don't get the food that you
Yeah.
need and the nutrition that you need, you won't do as well in school. So they're all related, all interconnected to each other.
Some of the
right?
churches I volunteer, like St. Rose Lima is one of them.
Right.
They do have a great food for breakfast for kids. The school's
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
And I've been there a few times, and one person one time donated $1,000 of meat
Wow.
and chicken. The fridge was so full they didn't know what to do with it.
Wow.
But just $1,000 make a difference, I guess.
Yeah.
They only get like 15, 20 kids at the time.
Yeah.
But I think I mentioned to a few people about a lot of churches. I would say churches and some of the community centers is very basic. They don't have some of these programs.
Right.
Would you make it mandatory if you have a facility? I mean, churches are private. You can't force them. But I've been talking to one of my local churches about. They got a humongous kitchen. St. Lawrence, not St. Lawrence. Precious Blood on St. Lawrence. They got 3 stoves. They had 3. Their hall room is big.
Yeah. Yeah.
Underused, but.
Well, I know of a church group that every week they have a meal out. They have a presentation. It's not in Toronto. It's north of Toronto, and yeah, I think the churches they can be more utilized. Why
Yeah.
not have more programs? People come in, and serve them food, talk to them, maybe have a video presentation, talk about religion, whatever you want to talk about.
Exactly.
And you get people in there. And like you said, the kitchen's not being utilized, and the church is not being utilized to full capacity. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean,
Why
we
not?
can't. I mean, they are private. I've talked about some of the priests about that. They're private. It's a private facility.
Yeah.
And it brings us back to the special, or actually handicapped
Mhm.
with disabilities.
Right.
So the churches have now, like 5 ago, they've made it accessible. Well, the problem is some of them made it accessible on the outside, but when you go on the inner door to the church itself,
No, it doesn't work. Eh?
no, it doesn't. But
Wow.
I mean, that's like when they passed the laws, they made it for all public facilities to be accessible, right?
Yes.
But they
yes.
didn't. They should have gone a little further. So basically, if it's a private facility like a church,
Yes.
like even the mall is a private property.
Yes.
And
yes.
they don't. I don't know if they fall under the certain rules or whatever. I can't remember. But if you're serving the public, even if, like if you're having your house here, say you're serving the public,
Yeah.
you're running a campaign,
Yeah.
it should be accessible to everybody, right? It
Absolutely.
should be mandatory. If you're
Absolutely.
If you're serving the public, it should be mandatory. It shouldn't be just an option.
Yeah. No, it has to be accessible on the inside as well. On the outside,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. If it's on the outside, it's got to be on the inside too.
Especially when you're serving the public and all.
Yeah. Yeah. Because everybody has different needs. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's got to be accessible. That's surprising because that really they need to rectify that.
Well, we had a
Yeah.
lady used to go on the church on Epiphany. She'd come in on the wheelchairs every morning. She'd come in every day.
Right.
Press the button, open the door. They got that done, and then on the inside, we'd have to hold the door for her.
Oh,
And
really?
sometimes, yeah. Some days
Wow.
she'd be waiting there for somebody to see her, and we have to open the main door. It's just the
Wow.
door to the church itself.
Wow.
Between the foyer, yeah. So it's kind of like I asked the priest, it defeats the purpose. Why do you put an accessible door here, but you don't move it on the inside? It wasn't in our budget. Well, it's either all the way or no way. But like I said, it's private, so it can't be enforced. It's their option about what they want to do with the church and all.
Yeah, you're right. If it's a private facility, then it's up to them.
Yeah, and that's what we've
If
talked
I were
about.
them, I'd make it more accessible though.
Yeah,
On the
even
inside.
like I went down to a meeting down that's called More Neighbors I'm part of, and I went down. There's a facility out. I think it's on Schroeder Street. I can't remember now.
Right.
But there's a little bit of a lip
Right.
between the
Oh,
sidewalk.
that's no good.
And we had a lady. Do you remember Isabel Yank?
I
You
think
remember-
so,
yeah,
yeah.
she was there at the Pride with the wheelchair.
Right.
Yeah, she
Right.
passed away.
Did she pass away since then?
Oh yeah, she's passed away now after a while. Yeah.
When did she die?
Uh,
I remember her.
Yeah. She,
I remember her.
yeah, 2 years ago. 2 years,
Oh,
almost 2 years. Yeah.
jeez.
But she'd have to get out of her wheelchair because she's tall, right?
Yeah.
We have to just lift that 6 steps to lift the wheelchair just on a little lift to get in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And then you have to go up the stairs. Luckily, she could walk up the stairs for the function, but still.
Wow.
But because it's privately owned,
Yeah.
they didn't have to do it, right? Even though it's serving the
Yeah,
public, right?
yeah,
Just a
that's-
little time, just
a little thing
less
like
than-
that,
like
eh?
less than this,
A
less
little
than
thing like
yeah.
that. Wow.
Yeah, it makes a difference. And I went with her many times. Like walking and taking some of it, and it opens my eyes. What you think you don't even think of as a person using a wheelchair.
Yeah.
It's like, for example, the gates, they have those mesh gates, and they have those little bars to hold the door, the panels.
Yeah.
So she couldn't go in there with her wheelchair. She had to go around it.
Wow.
Jeez.
I remember.
Even the bike share. The bike share.
Yes.
It was the last 2020 district permit, 2022 election. They had a gentleman down on, I think, of Wellesley area. They put the bike share, but they put it in a way that the bike stuck out, so the people with special needs or wheelchairs, they had to go around.
Right.
They couldn't go through because it stuck up. They never did the research. They had a lot of complaints. We had a gentleman complain about that. Looked into that. I don't know what the result was, but still, they were still investigating. Yeah, just something you never even think about. Just little things. Yeah. But seeing it through her eyes, how taking the elevator and all, and just seeing how she lives, it makes me kind of appreciate what I have and hope to improve. So for you as a mayor candidate, you get elected. What's your stance on special needs and disabilities and accessibility?
Well, we need to improve it for sure. We have to pay more attention to it because not everybody can get around. Not everybody can access this city like other people can. So, even I like what they've done with the TTC buses. They when you get in there, the operator of the bus, he'll lower the step, press a button, and then you go on. It makes it easy for the wheelchair to go on there. But we need more buildings, houses, more places to be accessible. Condominium buildings, they all need to be accessible.
Yeah.
Some of them are. They have elevators, things like that. But this is really key, and we have to pay attention to everybody.
Like even the restaurants. Like I go to the, I like the restaurant when I come out of the restaurant. The Gabby's and the Kelsey's, for example. I go with my mom when my mom was alive with a walker.
Yeah.
I'd have those big doors to the washroom.
Yeah.
I'd have to open it for her, and then she'd have to yell out to me, and I'd have to open the door to get her out again. There's no way to get in her by herself. She couldn't do it by herself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the doors are so heavy, right?
Oh,
especially
yeah.
Kelsey's and Gabby's.
Wow.
But every time I go to take her to the washroom, I hold the door, open the door for her, have to go inside, and then she'd go in, and then I said, "Give me a call. I'll wait outside for you." And
Oh
then,
my God,
she
that's
couldn't.
terrible.
Yeah, no, and then people
That's
don't realize-
frustrating.
Yeah, it
That's
is
frustrating. Yeah.
And then
That's got to be changed.
Yeah, it just became
be
routine,
changed.
Yeah. And funny, and with mom, like anywhere I had to go after thinking ahead. If I had to be with her for use the washroom, I can't go to Walmart and go to the washroom with her.
Yeah.
But like Shoppers Drug, when it's private, I can go to Costco. I can go. I think department. Yeah. Where's the malls? They have the family washrooms.
Right.
And you're the one. They voted the worst mall for accessibility is Fairview Mall.
They're the first ones.
No, they're the worst mall.
Oh, the worst.
Yeah.
The worst.
They didn't take into account when they're building these facilities. For example, you came off Shepherd, the entrance on Shepherd.
Yeah.
That's the second floor. So when you come in, you got the elevator on one side or this side, then you got the escalator on that side. They're in the middle of the stairs. So anybody with accessibility, like when I took her to go see her lawyer or her orthodontist, her optometrist, she'd have to take the elevator on the other side to go down to go use the washroom down there and come.
But why wouldn't they put the elevator and the escalator on the
the way
same side, the same area,
when
right?
they redesigned that many years ago, they did a whole cosmetic surgery. They didn't take into account accessibility needs,
You got to think ahead. You got to plan. You got to plan. It's important to plan when you build something like that.
Here's my mom on a walker, not anyone else.
Wow.
Walking all the way down to the elevator or going to the escalator.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, it's just you don't think about. Yeah, just things like that. So that's I think for improving as a mayor, you can look into that, right?
Every aspect of the city has to take into consideration that the people have accessibility problems.
Yeah.
You got to plan ahead. You can't assume anything.
Yeah.
There's
Exactly.
a lot of little things we can do. A lot of little things.
Just little things like that. I went to I go to a different class and I'll make a note which store is accessible with a button.
Yeah.
And, like say Parkwood, I go to and do my laundry there. So out of 10 stores, there are only 4 accessible.
That's it?
Yeah, Pizza is not accessible from the outside. Dollarama's, all their stores are accessible.
Yes.
The food basis, that's accessible
Yes.
automatically. Yeah.
Yes.
So little things like the Tim Hortons, they're not accessible. McDonald's is not accessible. A lot of McDonald's still not accessible. Yeah.
Well, if Dollarama is accessible, there's no excuse. The other one should be accessible too.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be something to the public, right?
Right. Exactly.
Even some of the renovated coffee shops I've been to, like going down, they say bring your mom. I said I can't. Your washroom's down like 22 flights of steps. I can't take her down there. So I can't bring her, right? Then well, we have that. We'll carry her down. No, you're not going to carry her down. She's not going to like that.
No. That's crazy. No, carry her down. No.
Another thing is you talked about also your fitnesses. You obviously eat healthy, right?
I like I like sports and I like to be healthy and I like to. I've always emphasized fitness. Fitness is really important. I like to, even if I can't run, like I like to even watch sporting events too. I like to see other athletes perform to a high level. My security guard job, I do, like I said, I go to different sporting events. I'm always into fitness, always into sports. You know, I actually applied to, speaking of sports, I applied to be the play-by-play radio announcer
Oh, you talking about it,
of
yeah.
the Toronto Maple
Yeah,
Leafs.
because he retired, the guy there.
The gentleman that does it, Joe Bowen, he
Yeah.
retired after doing it for 44 years, so I sent him an application
You
last
get that
month.
voice. You get the, yeah.
I used to announce hockey on the radio for the junior games in the Ontario Hockey Association, so I applied to try and replace Joe Bowen. Hope you guys are listening if you're hearing. Leafs TV network. I sent them a resume with an audio tape of myself announcing. So far they haven't chosen a new radio announcer yet, but I guess they better hurry up because the season is starting soon.
Yeah.
The Leaf season this year. Yeah, I've always liked sports. Always fitness. My dad was an excellent squash player,
Right.
champion player. He worked his way up the ranks and became like the top guy around in squash.
Oh, yeah?
He was in Canada, yeah, top player, and he. So I learned through him too. I noticed. I remember him telling me. My dad used to say that whenever he had to, whenever there was a squash tournament coming up, he had to train for it, and he always did long distance running or jogging to train for the squash tournaments. So I've been thinking about that lately. I'm thinking, you're doing the same thing your dad is doing. Like I'm running long distance every day, and my dad used to do that. So I'm kind of picking up where he left off. And
Do you do your push-ups and sit-ups too, all your calisthenics and all?
I do strength training every day.
Okay.
So I do, one day I'll do push-ups and sit-ups. I do 55 push-ups and then 90 sit-ups with some
He's got a
weight.
strong grip when I shook his hand.
Thanks, Phil. And then next day I'll do weightlifting.
Yeah.
I also do CrossFit training. I do something called.
Yeah, don't let the clothes deceive you.
Yeah.
The camera's deceiving. Yeah.
Yeah, the tie and the
Yeah.
shirt. I do CrossFit training a little bit, and I also do something called the PIN fitness test, which is a cumulative score. You do 4 components of it, and you rank yourself out of 100.
Oh, okay.
And what else do I do? I do walking. I'm going to go for a walk after this. I go for a 30-minute walk once a week. And I run between 1.5 and 6 miles, as I said before. Sometimes I'll run more than that. I've run as much as like close to 15 miles at once. I don't think I can do a 25-mile marathon. I'm not quite there yet, but like I said, I've been running for 6 years. Run every day.
Triathlon, all of the.
I did a marathon 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I got it part way done. I did about 14 miles, and
good.
that was it for me. It was harder than I thought. It was on a perfect day too. It was on a day where it wasn't hot, and perfect day. But I'm kind of a short distance runner. I'm not really a long distance runner. More of a short distance, long distance runner. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I try my best. I like to stay in shape. It's important to stay in shape.
Well, speaking of
Because I think
fitness,
you'll live longer.
Yeah.
You know.
But, there was a lady around the by-election. She wanted to open an MA school or.
Oh, mixed martial arts. Yeah.
So, talk about youth. I've talked
Yeah.
to quite a bit of youth. They want to be more involved with politics, but there's no connection there. They want to get. So, what you think about youth? How do you get the youth more involved with not just politics, but just mentoring programs or city-wise?
That's not hard to do. We just have to create programs for them. It's not hard. Summer programs, even in the winter too. There's a lot of facilities in Toronto. I mean, a lot of clubs. There's fitness clubs, and we just need to advertise that to stay in shape. There has to be written on billboards. Even if you're not advertising a program, just advertise something on the billboard saying "stay in shape," run, do this, like just little things like that.
Remember that couple years ago, Hal and
Yes.
what's he called?
Yes, I remember them.
What do they
yes.
call it? I can't remember. Mind blank.
Yeah.
They used
to advertise. That's something good.
What's the sports? What's it called? I can't remember now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was the two of them.
Used to have the 2 kids on the show with them.
The two of them would advertise fitness, so that is something that's really important. Something like that.
That was a big impact on me growing up, watching that. This couple working out and
Absolutely.
and then to bring the kids involved.
Because I don't mean to make fun of people in this country, but some of us are not in as good a shape as we could be, and I think diet is important. And you got to stay in shape because you'll live longer, and you'll feel better too if you run or you do exercise. You'll feel better, and you'll perform better at your job. And you perform better at school. See, it's a win-win.
Well, I got a couple of buddies that are like not in the shape that you're in, but they're in the late 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
They just eat what they want.
Yeah, you
And
can't
that's
do
okay
that.
for them,
Eventually, it's going to catch up with you. I had a friend of mine, unfortunately passed away a few years ago.
Right.
Great guy. I used to coach him in ice hockey, and I noticed in his recent pictures he was, a little bit overweight and that.
Right.
I think he used to tell me he used to eat at McDonald's. You can eat at any restaurant you want. I'm not criticizing anything. You just got to be careful. You can eat, you can't eat too much of something that's gonna
Like
ruin your
sporadically,
health.
not like continue like habitually, right?
Yeah, you have to eat the right foods, and if you unfortunately he didn't, then he became overweight, I guess, and then he passed away from a heart problem. But it was kind of sad because he was young, only about 46, and this is why, like, you've got to eat properly and you've got to exercise properly, and if you do that, you should live a long life. Now, there's certain factors you can't control. Some people unfortunately die of cancer and things like that. You got to try your best. You got to play the hand you're dealt and live every day like it's your last. But you got to think. You got to stay in shape, and you got to be careful everything you do. You got to be careful when you drive your car.
Yep.
You got to think out there. You got to you drive your car. You're on the highway, roadway, whatever. Too many accidents out there.
Yeah.
We got to slow it down. People are in a hurry. You don't need to be in a hurry to get to your destination. If you arrive at your destination a few minutes later, big deal.
Have you seen like cars zipping out, going to the next red light?
That's
crazy. But
crazy.
you just got one car ahead of me.
That's crazy.
Yeah, when you're a young guy,
Yeah, no, listen, if you get to your destination a few minutes later, who cares?
Yeah,
If you're
exactly.
going to get there safer, that's the main thing, safety. We have vehicles, we have cars, they're invented to get us from one place to another in a safe fashion. You're not meant to be killed in them. We're not meant to die in a car.
Yeah.
That's too soon. You're dying too soon. Let's take it easy out there and drive slowly and carefully and check all your blind spots, everything.
Yeah,
It's just
just be
simple
aware.
things.
Yeah, be aware surrounded. Especially
Yeah,
when you can tell being filled out the car when they're driving, like got the cell phone on the dash.
Yeah.
Right, and you can tell the way they're driving.
Cell
Also,
phone on the dash?
Get off
Yeah.
get off the phone, buddy.
Yeah. No, your cell phone, like you can get charged with that.
Yeah.
If your cell phone's
But you
on
see
your
a lot of
lap,
people, they got it on the dash. They got a mount there, and they all the time. I sit all the time.
if you want to use
Yeah.
your cell phone, pull over or use your cell phone before you start your trip.
I was just in church earlier.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in the
Yeah.
back there. This senior lady.
Yeah.
She's on her cell phone. I sometimes I speak loud something in the church.
Yeah.
I need to hear me. I said, "Can you turn on your cell phone? I want you to the priest, not you."
Yeah.
She looked at me like, and she just let that thing beep. Like beeping or somebody's beeping her.
Oh my God. Oh my
Come
God.
on.
Oh my God.
Back to the youth there. We're talking about mentoring program. I had believed that not just politics, all kinds of jobs can be mentoring for students. Like doctor, or come see what's like being in a nursing facility or a hospital facility.
Yeah.
Social services.
Yeah.
Any kind of job. We had this years ago. Remember?
The police have this mentoring program now. The Toronto Police. They have a program where they're getting youth together, and I think it's a summer program, getting the young kids together, and they're mentoring them with police officers in case they want to become police officers. It's a very good program.
Oh, that's great.
It's good. They just started it. They just had it on the news.
See, I don't see that advertised.
Yeah.
Telling me this. Especially, we're talking about billboards and stuff like that.
It's not on the billboard. I just happened to watch a news clip of it.
Yeah.
And I also went on the Toronto Police website. I think I noticed it there. But it's a great program because even if they don't want to become a police officer, they're mentoring with policemen, and it's a very positive thing, and it's a good thing to do during the summertime when they're free and they're not in school during the summer. We need to have more programs like that where the professionals, they're mentoring with the ambulance people and the first responders and the police. That's a great program. We need more of that.
Right.
And I think we have a lot of summer hockey programs, which
Yeah.
is good. We need even more of those. That's good. We have. I was watching the news the other day, and they have a clip of a former NFL player playing football with kids downtown. This is recently, a couple of days ago. That's a great program. Downtown in a park, an NFL player. That's great.
He's just volunteering his time.
Yeah, he's volunteering his time trying to teach kids football, and he was kind of humble. He didn't want to go on camera that much, which is
good.
fine.
That's the best kind, right?
Yeah, a humble guy.
Yeah.
He's working with the kids and having a great time. They interviewed the kids, and the kids are having a great time. They have a former professional player there, a mentor. That's great. That's a really great program.
I think we can have more mentoring with celebrities, right? Celebrity-wise, like him, celebrities.
We need more than
Yeah,
that. We need
yeah.
more. Yeah. We have a lot of movie stars coming here and all that. TIFF is happening soon. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of TIFF, getting to food security. Food security is one of my biggest things. That's my biggest line for my campaign, right? Food security or food insecurity.
Food insecurity.
Yeah. Well, for example, TIP is a perfect example. I have people that work as caterers. The amount of food they throw out of there, because they can't put it anywhere. They just waste it and it's gone.
Well, they shouldn't be throwing it
Well,
out. There's
the-
people that need it.
Well, the health. Canada has high health standards or issues or.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. So like you can't
Yeah.
just. Because Fort York is just down the road, like just down the street, not too far. The Fort York food bank, not too
Right.
far from TIP. And I've mentioned
Right.
many times, why just take all that fancy food, send it
Right,
to
they
that?
should, they
But
should.
because of the health standards and all that, that's just holding them back, right? And this is the thing about
Food that bad? It sounds
Yeah.
if you're serving the people from TIFF, it's probably pretty good food.
Yeah, so that's the
I'd
thing.
imagine, wouldn't it be?
Between there and the building and between what's going to happen. Yeah, they have. I looked at that. Even like last year, the C&E, I think it was the food building. I think
Right.
it was, not the whole building or one of the companies. They had taken their leftover food. It's still good, and they're
Yeah.
donating to one of the food banks.
Right.
And some of the soup kitchens.
Well, that's the way they should. That's
Yeah,
the
they
way it
should.
should be. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like some of the countries in Europe have now made a law that you cannot throw out good food, you cannot waste food.
That's the way it should be.
Like presentation, like when you get packages come to the store, like pasta, it's got
Yeah.
a rip or got a tear.
Yeah.
So it's a case of presentation. So the company's policy, I've looked at this many times, they say it's cheaper just to throw it away than send it back to the company. So
Yeah.
if they go with the waste, they just rather do with the waste. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
So they said,
Well, that's important. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't want to waste food. What do you want to do that
well, it's
for?
Like Walmart has some of the other stores have the reduced shelf. You know, like things that are reduced and return.
That's good.
More like material thing, not food, but still.
Yeah.
That's the concern about how long the. When people always ask me, when it has an expiry date and a shelf life date? So does it expire on that day? I found it funny. Yeah, it just goes bad. Suddenly the next day, it's just.
I don't think so.
They give you a little leeway.
I don't think
yeah.
it's the next day. I doubt it. It probably stays okay for a while.
Couple.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's gonna be over 2 months, don't do it, right?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. You can't do it too long. You can't wait too long. Exactly.
My mom
yeah.
got this from her friends, and she got this box of chocolates for Christmas one year.
Right.
And it hadn't been open, right? It's brand
Yeah.
new. So she
Yeah.
said, help yourself. She went through her social thing.
Yeah.
So she came back and said, are these your good friends here? Like, do you know how old this box is?
Yeah.
So I showed her, like,
Yeah.
they've been sitting there for 2 years on the shelf. She's not upset, but they told them about it. They didn't realize that.
2 years
Well, they
on
didn't.
the shelf.
They didn't
yeah.
realize that they're a nice couple. They didn't realize that all these items have
Shelf
expiry
life.
dates.
Yeah, expiry
But
dates.
even even toothpaste has an expiry date.
Yeah.
You can't even see it. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's right.
I didn't know that.
The
Toothpaste
grooves.
has expiry? Yeah, I
they
didn't
put
know
the
that.
little grooves. You can barely see it. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
they have it. They have
That's
a
good
shelf
to know.
life.
I'll keep that in
Even
mind.
deodorant has a shelf life. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
Really? Wow.
You can tell when you start using old deodorant and your arms are like you start burning.
Yeah.
Everything has a shelf life. there,
Everything
yeah,
has an
yeah.
expiry date, eh?
Yeah,
I
but
didn't
Canada
know
has
that.
a higher health standards than the states law, which is good.
Yeah,
So back to
yeah.
food security, as a mayor, if you're elected, what would you do to increase the amount of starvation going on in the streets, or the food's being wasted there? You know, food's available, but you can't not accessible.
But here's the thing. I think that some people are embarrassed to go to a food bank.
Well, yeah,
That's
it
the
is
thing.
True. It is,
A lot of people are embarrassed. But you shouldn't be embarrassed.
No, there's no embarrassment. No.
It doesn't matter
There's
what
no shame in
it
that
doesn't matter
whatsoever.
exactly. It doesn't matter what your income is. It
Yep.
doesn't matter anything. It's expensive to live in the city, and you should try and save money in any way
Yeah.
you can. You can go to a food bank even if you're making good money at your job. You know,
Yeah.
you need. It's still expensive to live in the
Yeah.
city, even if you're making good money. You shouldn't be ashamed to go to a food bank. There's a lot of them around in Toronto, and sometimes you got to wait outside in the cold weather. But what are you going to do? Now this year, this time of year is no excuse. It's warm weather
It's
out.
warm, yeah.
It's beautiful out. If you need to go to a food bank, don't be ashamed. Nobody's going to judge you.
No.
They don't care. And your friends aren't going to drive by and look at you and say, "Wow, what are you doing at the food bank?" No, nobody's going to do that. Nobody knows.
Nobody looks down on you. No.
Nobody even knows you're doing it. None of your friends will know, and you shouldn't. Even if they know, so what? You shouldn't feel embarrassed.
And if they're going to prejudge you, then you know.
But they won't.
they-
Yeah,
they-
they're not very good friends. I
Yeah,
guess.
they're not. Yeah,
not very good friends.
Yeah.
No, if you need, because in the end it'll save you money, and because food at some of these grocery stores can be expensive. They're not every grocery store is expensive, but there are some deals out there.
Yeah.
You just gotta look around.
Like Food Basic, no frills. They're the basic
Even-
needs. But
Even Shoppers Drug
Shoppers
Mart
has
and,
them, yeah.
and Metro have some deals.
Yeah.
You look in there; they've got some good sales
you
there.
just gotta look for them, right? After
Yeah.
the COVID, things went down. Like the
Yeah.
sales
Yeah.
weren't as much as before and all.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no, you gotta look around, but you gotta save money on gas too with your car. I don't drive my car that much anymore, just a little bit here and there, or business purposes.
Yeah.
I don't take long trips or anything like that. But you got to, until gas prices go down, which they might be a while before they do, but you got to save money too. Watch your spending, watch your driving, watch what you're doing. Be careful out there.
You've seen yourself in the city, the misspending of all the millions wasted on different things there. Like for yourself as a mayor, what would you do to decrease spending, useless spending, I'd say?
Yeah, we got to spend money on the important areas. What I'm seeing now, one of the things I don't like is some of these politicians are you know, their bills, they're putting the, how do they word that? Their expenses, they're putting their expenses on a credit card or
Oh, you mean the few that got caught there?
Yeah. Not their own credit card,
No,
but on the parties.
Yeah, the city's paying for it.
City's paying for it.
Yeah.
I really don't like that, and I think they have to get away from doing that. And that really looks bad. If you're asking the city to pay for that, that's just not good. Now, one politician, he did it, and then he regretted it, and then he stepped down from his portfolio
Because he got caught.
which he should.
Yeah.
If he didn't get caught, he might still. I don't. Who knows? Maybe he'd still be there.
All, yeah.
If you're a politician, you got to be ethical because you're going to get caught sooner or later.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it. If you get caught, the punishment for it could be greater than it's not worth the risk.
Well, let me ask you.
It's not
Just
worth the
not too
risk.
long ago, there came out a report of the amount of councillors that have expense accounts and who are the most spend the most, like 1.35 or 1.5 million. So, as a mayor, what would you feel about that? Would you reduce that expense account or what?
Expense accounts, I think, should be more for emergencies.
Yeah.
Something emergent, like maybe you live far away, really far away, and there's a snowstorm out, and you just finished your parliamentary session, but you can't get home because of the snowstorm. You live 100 miles away. Okay, fine. Stay in a reasonably priced hotel and put that on the account. That's fine. But anything else, because they're going to start spending on everything, then that needs to be taken away from them.
Yeah.
It's not right. We shouldn't pad the bill. We need to elect honest politicians. I mean, honesty is key.
Yeah. What do you think about the new candidates all running? Like, we're vet candidates now, I can say, but the
For
new
mayor?
Yeah, or not just even the ward candidates. Like you've seen them out doing the Instagram, the videos, all the program, and they have community events going on. I think it's amazing.
That's good. That's what you need. You got to give yourself exposure. If you're a political candidate, you have to expose yourself in any way you can. That's legal. That's ethical. I mean, every opportunity you get to network with people.
Well, that's why I'm doing this. Like the lack of mass media. We both know, right?
I appreciate this, Phil. This is
Yeah.
great for my campaign. You're a nice guy, and I appreciate
Thank
this because not a lot of people would do this.
No, I don't mind doing it.
And I get calls or emails every day. People wanting me to, sell flyers to me or all different to advertise.
I even get ads like from companies. I'm not running, and they keep sending me stuff for.
Yeah,
They think
yeah,
it's hilarious. Yeah.
No, it's good. I'm glad people are calling me up. What I'd like to see more is I left my phone number on the website, the candidate website for the city of Toronto, and my email is there. I'd like to see more people call me up during the election time, which is now, and if they have any problems, to talk to me about it. To say, listen, there's something I don't like about this or that, and call me. And we'll talk. I'll give them we'll put our heads together and get some ideas how to solve it. That's what I'm here for. So even though the election hasn't happened yet, we're
Well, even after the first election, when we both ran together, were you getting quite a few calls after you ran, even if it was over? People asking for you, reaching out to you because you've been a candidate. Were people reach out to you asking if you can help them out and all that?
I had one woman. I had a few people had a few complaints here and there. One woman complained about the marijuana thing, that her son is getting high every day because he's going to this pot shop and he can easily get the pot, and I think he was underage too or something. So I'm concerned about that because I don't want to see, especially, I don't want people to get high and then get behind the wheel of a car or something like that and drive that way. But yeah, I mean, you got to be careful with this, what you do. If you get high on marijuana, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Could end up being disastrous. So there's been some tragedies the last little while. I was a football player last weekend who unfortunately he got into an accident and passed away, and someone else died in the accident. And it was a real tragedy.
Well, that accident happened down 2 weeks ago in my area, Scarborough, the Lawrence and Birchmount.
Yes.
The couple they were just across the street there. I think?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
just. And you
Yes.
talk about traffic. In fact, let's go to traffic after that.
Yes.
That area, Birchmount Lawrence, that's my area.
Right.
You couldn't even drive right anywhere. You had to go all around the whole part of the circumference of Scarborough. You couldn't get down to Warden or Eglinton. It was just all blocked off.
All blocked off.
It
yeah.
was terrible.
Yeah.
That's just an accident now. And so let's talk about traffic. You know, we hear this is my thing. Anybody says they're going to solve traffic, I think they're leaving false pretenses, right?
I don't think
And
you can solve
can't.
solve traffic.
No.
The reason why you can't is because the roads were built, whenever they were built, 50, 100 years ago, they were built to accommodate the traffic way back then.
Yeah.
Whoever built the roads in the city did not really think ahead as much as they should have to accommodate traffic, not only way back then, but accommodate possible big increases in the traffic in the future. There's not a lot you can do. The one thing we can do, again, is avoid accidents. I think that is possible, because accidents are also a problem with traffic. They create worse traffic. If there's an accident, people wait in line. And that's why I'm emphasizing: drive slowly, watch the car in front of you, watch the car behind you, use your mirrors. I don't know what we can do. Can we have the employers have their employees leave at different times of the day and go home at 2 o'clock, some at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock? Would that distribute the traffic problem? I don't know. I don't think there's a lot we can do other than, which is what we're doing now, is build more subways.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Building more subways, maybe not right away, but in the future will alleviate some of the traffic. We don't have enough subways. And we have the best transit system compared to other cities in Ontario, but it's not good enough still. We need to extend that Yonge line, which we're doing. We got the Eglinton line, we got the Shepherd line, we got the Ontario line. That's a good start, but we need to keep going.
Yeah, we're kind of way behind. We're kind of behind.
We're still behind. When you
Barely
compare
see.
us to other European
Yeah.
cities, there's cities in Europe and even in Iran. I don't know if you heard, Tehran is a city in Iran.
Mhm.
I have a friend of mine who was born there, and he was saying that when you live in Tehran, you can get any place you want. You can get to any place you want in the city by subway.
Yeah.
Any place. You'll get
People
there.
don't know that. Even Egypt.
Yeah.
When I was in Egypt.
Any place you want.
So which I didn't know you had. Yeah,
Everywhere.
Yeah,
Every point in
yeah,
the subway. You
yeah.
don't have to take the subway and then wait for a bus and take another long bus
Yeah.
ride somewhere. These are places in Europe and Asia, and that, you're right, Phil. We are behind our time
Yeah.
in terms of subways. We're trying
Well,
to
like
catch
Montreal's
up.
got, you can go anywhere in Montreal. You can go anywhere in Quebec, basically.
Yeah.
in,
Montreal has a good system.
Yeah.
They got a good transit system, and New York City's probably pretty good too. But we're behind our time here. We got to catch up. And
Do you know when there's less traffic, when there are those schools out, all the schools are out, there's less traffic here or something?
Yes,
Like
yes.
on my streets where I live,
Yes.
less traffic. As
Yes.
soon as the school starts, you gotta like.
Then you get all this traffic.
Yeah.
We got to build more
So
subways.
somebody suggested to me, they called me up and said, you know what, you want to solve traffic? Make everybody homeschool.
That's an idea.
I mean, it's joking. It's like,
It's an
yeah,
idea. It's
yeah,
an
it's
idea.
kind of funny.
It's
It's
an
just
idea.
the
Yeah,
traffic usually.
yeah,
Even some cities in Europe now, they banned deliveries like during rush hour.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
agree
they
with that
should.
to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Depending on the streets you're at, and like especially side streets. We see
Yeah.
even the city of Toronto. Like
Yeah.
you see the vehicles during rush hour. They'll instead of parking on the side, they'll park right there and put the cones on. Like you could have just gone on the side, buddy.
Yeah.
And just instead of blocking traffic. Well, even the LRT, the LRT where I am,
Yeah.
right? When it's rush hour, they got the 2 lanes and they got the bike lane. So when the bus stops to pick up each stop, it still blocks 1 lane because they didn't make it account that bus can take that little bus that bus is gonna take a little bit of space. So cars, there's still traffic backed up.
That's a problem. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just
yeah.
things they don't look into, like
That's right. You got to think about those things. Exactly.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anything
Phil.
else? Oh, so let me ask you a question. I know. Let's talk about your volunteer work. Besides things you've done, you've done quite a bit of volunteering. I know that.
I've done volunteer work. I volunteered at the Distress Center of
Yeah.
Greater Toronto. They have a program there. It takes about a month to do. It's twice a week. I did it 4 years ago, and I passed that program. And they train you to be a call taker. So when someone's calling and they're in distress, they teach you. You have to listen to them and offer them emotional support. So I briefly did some work with that, and it was a great experience. I'm also did volunteer work at the Toronto Humane Society. I helped out there in the pet intake department for about a year and a bit. It was on Wednesdays, and that was a great experience. Met a lot of nice people. You meet the nicest people at the Humane Society. It's really good. I also volunteer. I was a member of the Progressive Conservative Party back in 2018, the Ontario PC Party. I helped elect Doug Ford as the new leader, and then he went on.
So we can blame you now. I'm just kidding.
Me, yeah.
Just kidding.
You can
I'm
blame
kidding.
you can blame me, Phil. I'm the problem. I was a member for a year, and it was a good experience. Ontario PCs. Other volunteer work, I did. I coached ice hockey for many years, for 10 years. I coached many different teams. The Metro Toronto Hockey League. I coached a team that was deaf, had no hearing. All the players were deaf. Yeah,
that's great.
That's how I learned sign language. Is one of the players I met in my hearing team was also deaf. So I coached that, and I got my coaching certification, level 4, Ontario. No, it's called the coaching certification program. I got to level 4 for ice hockey, and that was great. So I coached many different teams, summer and winter. I also volunteered a long time ago at the Oshawa Deaf Center. Okay, and my other volunteer work, I worked as a radio announcer. I guess it was volunteer. I got paid a little bit. The radio announcer, I announced hockey games on the radio. I got paid a little bit of money for that. Not a lot, but that was okay. It was a great experience. I did the junior teams, like the Markham Waxers and the St. Mike's Buzzers. I announced one football game at UFT, University of Toronto. That's a great experience. And my other volunteer work is right now I'm on the board of directors for my condominium building.
Okay.
So we have meetings once a week, or once a month rather. In the meantime, it's ongoing. We're dealing with some issues, and I own a condo downtown in Toronto, and I'm on the board there. I've been on the board there for a long time, on and off for about 20 years. That's since 2008. So what are we now? 2026. So I've been on the board for not quite 18 years, but maybe 12 or 13 years. And it's been a great experience. So
And you did 35 years being a real estate agent?
I've been a real estate agent for over 35 years.
Yeah.
I work for Royal LePage, Tier Equity, and I've done a number of transactions. I've done a lot of transactions in Toronto and also outside
So you've
of
got the
Toronto.
knowledge in the real estate and of this, right?
I have knowledge of a lot of people.
Oh, by the way, I
and
looked
geography.
at your background for real estate. I know I have people inside.
Yeah.
They say that you're one of the most successful, honest guys for.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was told by. I said mention your name to people that well known in the real estate community.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I checked your background.
Thanks, Phil.
Yeah, I did your background. Yeah, you know,
I appreciate that.
I said, would you vote for this guy? I said, yeah, honestly. He said, you know what they say? He's not gonna get in. Why? He's too honest.
That could be
we
a
talked
problem.
about it earlier. Yeah. But it's,
Could be a problem.
That's a nice compliment.
I don't know how to lie, but that's very nice. Though.
Yeah, they looked into. They
I didn't know that. Thank you. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Your
Thanks.
name is known, like, and you're successful.
Thanks.
Senior real estate pages and all what you sell and all.
Good.
And you're down to earth about it, and that's what we need.
Thanks.
Grassroots candidate, ward, mayor, grassroots candidates. What we need all the time, right?
Yes.
Down to earth, and not the living with a silver spoon, and like what we could spend $100 compared to what you can spend on $1 million. That goes far, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's not about how much money you spend. It's about being honest.
So,
Be honest,
as
yeah.
business real estate, how do you feel about bringing more business in Toronto, which we need, I think, not just real estate?
Well, the market's a little slow, especially
Yeah.
the condo market, but things will pick up. It goes in a cycle, Phil.
Do you think
Things
there's
go in
other
a cycle.
aspects of bringing business in Toronto yourself?
Other aspects, other things that can be done?
Yeah, like bringing other kind of commodities into Toronto. Right now there's a lack of competition in those cities. Well, I'll give you an example. We have our conglomerate, one cable company controls so much, right?
Yeah.
Rogers, right? They bought out Shaw.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you go to compare the states, to like where my cousins live, they got like 15 or 20 choices, and the prices are cheap. You know, the more competition, the more price.
There should be more competition
Yeah.
to bring down the prices. I think all the sports teams now in Toronto are owned by one company, by Rogers. They bought everything
Yeah.
out. So I think you're right. It should be more competition. I have to think about that one. That's a good idea. We have to do something to facilitate more options in
Yeah.
this city when it comes to business.
Yeah.
Because there shouldn't be any reason why more people should come here and invest. There should be more
exactly.
investment.
Yeah.
It's a great city.
And also, just back to the food thing, I forgot to mention, somebody proposed this idea about they should have a policy in Ottawa where any grocery store or company is going to increase the political price gouging.
Yeah.
They should have a policy that you reach, say, you're going to increase it to like $5.99. The policy in the Ottawa is you hit that plateau, it comes out automatic by a certain percentage. That's a law. So that way you can't be ripping off customers.
It comes down, you
yeah,
mean? Or
yeah.
just,
It goes down by a certain percentage. mean, you can't go above this.
Well, that's a great idea,
Yeah.
Phil.
It's like rent control, right? Yeah.
That's a great idea.
So we have like food pricing
Prices
control.
are too high.
Yeah.
They're too high.
And you see what happened. You seen during the COVID, they actually had hotlines for people gouging, right? The hotels.
Yeah.
I remember No Frills there. They had toilet paper in one of the
Yeah.
We went with the regular price $11.99. During the COVID, they raised it $22, and they got reported. They got charged. Yeah.
Well, people are selling tickets to sporting events
Oh, that's another
for
thing.
exorbitant
Yeah,
prices.
Yeah, you've seen that yourself,
and
right?
Doug Ford is trying to put a law into
Yeah.
effect. But during the World Cup, it didn't matter. People were still paying these crazy prices to see a World Cup soccer game. They got to enforce the law there. They can't just gouge people. That's just too. Shouldn't have to mortgage your house to see a soccer game. I mean, come on. I mean, it's great to be there. It's an important thing. It's a World Cup. You want to be there, but within reason. You got to pay There should be a cap on how much money you can spend on
the
it.
libraries have a nice system. Sunlight started years ago.
Yeah.
With the free tickets to give away. Like every library has certain tickets, like museums, Pioneer Village.
Yeah.
It's had many years. Now it's picked up. It's a big lineup for that.
Yeah.
But that's paid by Sun.
Yeah.
So for example, like a family of 4 or 5 cannot afford to go into the ROM or a museum or a art gallery or even the science center.
Yeah.
And now that because of the tickets, they can afford it. But, so they want to go a little further and do for theater. Like for example, if I had 5 nephews and nieces, I couldn't take them to see a theater. It's expensive. Like me alone, you have to go to a matinee.
Yeah.
So they want to. So everything become expensive. It deletes people's exposure from, especially their kids, the entertainment, the arts.
Yes.
Some people may say we don't need the arts; it's too overrated. But we do need the arts.
We do need all this. We do need all this.
I think we need also more facilities for people to practice their gift. And I have a friend, example, she has to travel all the way to Etobicoke because of she can only afford that area, rent a little space in that building to practice her trombone and all. That's it. There's nothing near her. But we need more of those places. There's so many places. Like you said, you're the real estate guy. You probably know more empty places than I do. Like I can think of, right? Like in this area. Like in this area right now. Like, can you think of anywhere around here? Say you're the mayor. You got like 50 people down the road and living on the streets. Do you have a facility you can put them in, like for the winter, to keep them off the cold?
I need to work on that. Yeah, we have to make better use of our resources. We have a school across the street too. I'm wondering if the schools can even help take people in or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we have a lot of schools in the
Like
area.
after hours, right? Yeah.
Yeah. We have a lot of schools that are not being used. The school across the street here is a very good school, but it's not a big school. It doesn't have a big population.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if schools like
Is
this
it a real school?
This is an actual elementary school. It's kindergarten to grade 6, but the school has gotten smaller over the years. When I went there 40, 50 years ago, it was a much bigger population. And now they've built the Catholic schools in the area, which is good. So a lot of the kids go to the Catholic schools.
Okay.
So this school is kind of empty. They can maybe make more use of this school in some way, maybe to help out the less fortunate.
There's a school up in McNichol, just off McNichol.
Yeah.
I think it's Catholic, but it's been sitting empty for a while. They just use it for meetings and all. It's a big facility.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example. Like,
Yeah.
the main thing is to get people off the streets, out of the cold, and
You're right. This school would be perfect for that, and we need to make more use of their schools.
I mean,
they're empty. In the summertime, they're empty
yeah,
too.
yeah. I mean, when I was in the reserves many years ago, when I was in the Red Force back in the '80s, the Metro Center downtown.
Yeah.
It wasn't advertised.
Yeah.
I've told people, but they found out how to believe. But back then, they opened up the place to the homeless living on the streets anywhere. Come down, get a free meal, get medical aid. They had nurses, volunteers, social workers. They had programs set up.
Yeah.
It was all, and because it's so big, and it worked well.
Yeah.
But
That's it. No, you got to be creative. Whatever resources we have in the city, we have to make more creative use of them, and bring people in off the streets.
Yeah.
And there's a lot here. We're not out in the boondocks. We're in the city.
No.
We have all these facilities. We got to make more use.
Well, what do
of
you think of them building everything in the city? Everything's down in the city now. Like everything, we got so many wards. Like here, so many spaces. Like Scarborough. There's, they're building new signs that are downtown. The new, everything's going down there. Like
we need more stuff up
and
here.
And the catch-22, right? Is like they have traffic. They're complaining about traffic. Well, you create things in one venue downtown. You're going to create traffic no matter what. Traffic problems.
Yeah, they got to spread it out. Down at the exhibition, a lot of those buildings down there aren't even being used. Like the Better Living Center, they're empty the whole year except during the exhibition time.
Well, they got the main one. They got the Royal Winter Fair. They got the food venues and all. Yeah.
Better Living building and the building across the street from it. Where all this flea market is during the exhibition. These buildings aren't being used that much.
No.
So we need to make use of
these
these buildings.
It's funny you said that because the scene it's empty the whole year except for like 3 weeks.
It's empty except for the last 2 weeks of August. Yeah.
And that's what they do.
So that's Gotta make better use of that. It's the world's largest annual exhibition.
Yeah, I'm looking
but
at
it's
it.
only an annual thing. It doesn't happen all year
Yeah.
round. It's just for 2 or 3
Yeah.
weeks,
But
right?
was it always like that in the past? Was it always?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's always.
And they haven't changed that format.
It used to be an agricultural fair about
Yeah.
150 years
Isn't it?
ago. They used to have. It used to be a little different, but it's always been like the last 2 weeks. It used to run 3 weeks. Now it's 2 weeks and a bit. When I was
That's
a
a
kid,
perfect example of facilities you can use for people off the streets, things
Yeah.
like set up food and all that, and places and all.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. No, you're right, Phil. That's a good point. Yeah. There's a lot of facilities around. A lot of stuff we can make better use of. There's the Down to Airport here, which has a lot of buildings up there.
Yeah.
There's so many buildings that are empty.
I used to train over there, right?
What's that?
I used to train over in the armed forces there.
Oh wow, yeah, you're in the armed forces.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't wonder what to do with the underground bunkers.
I didn't know they even had them.
Yeah, you do. People go, no, you're not. You're making that up. Well, think of it. It's World War II, World War I.
Wow.
4-year Army has one. They have an underground tunnel all up to City Hall.
Yeah.
It's off one of the reserve units. But it used to be in armories down. I forget where it is. It's gone now, but there's still this facility underneath it, still
Yeah.
unoccupied.
Yeah.
You know? Not going to put people there. But
At Fort York.
Yeah.
At Fort York.
Yeah, Fort York. There's another. No, the other armory. It used to be way back. It's gone now. But Fort York has facilities underground. They have.
Yeah.
They when during the COVID, they could easily sleep 200 people there in the main area.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, that's incredible. That's
Yeah.
that's a lot of space there.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
a big facility. It's
Wow.
great square, and they have. Fortunately, not accessible for everybody because the washroom
Yeah.
everything downstairs, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still, you can still. There aren't washing those rooms. You can still. That's just little examples and all, right? You know.
Yeah.
Still.
Oh, that's
Still.
good. That's good to know.
So I was going to
Yeah.
ask you, you've been quite a few volunteers. How do you feel about when people come back to you and say, hey, Robert, thanks for your help. I really appreciate what you did for me and all. How's that?
I think that's great. I think that's great. It's great to always get feedback, and it's always good to have people recognize me for anything I've done. It's great. I'm glad you were doing this talk now, and you're giving me some. You're recognizing me for my things that I've done, Phil. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I do my research.
Yeah, I noticed that.
There is that.
You know me really well. You know me better than I know myself. You really, you were the one you called me and you said, hey, remember 3 years ago?
Yeah, you told me you're a runner and
Yeah,
you're a real estate
yeah,
guy, you're
yeah,
a fit guy.
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember that. Yeah.
I appreciate this interview.
Yeah,
So,
it's good.
great.
Anything you want to add there for other candidates out there? in the
I
future?
think I'm looking forward to getting to meet the people and doing some door knocking. And like I said, the election is October 26th. If you do want to sign in your property, let me know. If you have any questions, feel free to call me anytime. My number is on the website, on the City Toronto website for the candidates. And I'm here to help. You can talk to me. I'll be there for you. Let's work together and try to make this city better.
And do you have a website right now you have, or you're working
Well,
on it?
I'm working on it. I'm
Okay.
just developing it. It's robertshusterman.com, but I'm developing it. So
Okay.
in the meantime, you have my email and my phone number.
Okay. Anything else?
rob.shusterman@gmail.com, phone number 416-837-1787.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for
Thanks,
your
Phil.
time. I really appreciate it. Thanks
Thanks.
for having me here. Nice house, Great.
Thanks, Phil.
I'm going to go turn the camera off there. Anything you want to mentor to people in the future?
I think it's a beautiful day today, and I'm glad you came by, Phil. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. So I'm going to turn
Thanks,
the
Phil.
camera off here before I fall over. See here. And we're done.